one of the most powerful beings in Middle-earth, and he's an amnesic hobo-wizard who can't string two words together. Now, I know a lot of you watch to get the latest of the Rings of Power, not because you're actually interested in the show, but you're wondering how the latest news is going to continue to take this story down a narrative trail of madness. So that brings us to the latest rumor about hobo-wizard, this guy. So Fellowship of Fans, a Twitter account and website that's had some success with rumors in the past, a lot of rumors, posted this. When the stranger and Nori travel east, they will encounter a wizard that will help train the stranger, improving his abilities and magic, making him very powerful. It's unsure yet whether this wizard is one of the Astari or just another magical character. Okay, so the Rings of Power has already changed so much of the story. Let's just take a quick look at how they're treating wizards in accordance to what Tolkien actually wrote. So, according to Tolkien, the wizards first appeared in Middle-earth around year 1000 of the Third Age. The Third Age is the age that ended when the One Ring was destroyed at the end of Return of the King, right? So, the Rings of Power takes place in the year about 1600 or so of the Second Age, if we had to put a number on it. Not that they get the chronology right, but if you had to put a number on it, that's where you'd put it. And the Second Age lasts about 3,500 years. The wizards appear around year 1000 of the Third Age. So that's 3,000 years of difference. So we know that they're already 3,000 years off, according to when Tolkien said the wizards appeared to the elves. So in both the appendix to The Lord of the Rings and in a section called the Istari in Unfinished Tales, Tolkien makes clear that the reason these wizards were sent to Middle-earth was to contest the power of Sauron and unite all those who had a will to resist him. Saruman was the craftiest. Gandalf was known as the wisest, particularly by Cirdan, the most ancient elf in all of Middle-earth. And there were a couple of wizards who went into the east, Alatar and Palando, who were never heard from again. And then we also know Radagast. And it's also important to remember that these wizards, these are Maiar. These are the same race of beings as Sauron. So their abilities are on that level, and they were sent to contest the power of Sauron, but more so to unite all those who had the will to resist them. Okay. So back to the first part of the rumor. When the stranger and Nori travel east, they will encounter a wizard that will help train the stranger, improving his abilities and magic, making him more powerful. Okay, two things to talk about here then. First off, where are they going, or more precisely, who are they going to? I think I really just answered that, right? They're going to be going to the Blue Wizards. Apparently, these wizards who've been there before, and they're going to teach him. Well, that brings up the second question in that statement. They're going to make him more powerful. What kind of power are we actually talking about? So these wizards who've been there, who I guess have gotten past their amnesic state that we see this wizard is in, they're going to help train him to be more powerful. Well, what does that mean? Well, what Tolkien wrote, it was to contest the power of Sauron and unite all those who had the will to resist him. Their power isn't in some Harry Potter wand dripping power contest. It's to unite the people. That's what Gandalf did, right? His goal was to bring the people of Middle-earth together. I mean, look at the Council of Elrond. Dwarves, elves, humans, hobbits, they were all there. He was uniting them. And that's what the Fellowship was. It was a uniting of those people. And then when we look at what happened in Middle-earth, Rohan and Gondor, they united. And so Gandalf's role, the wizard's role, was to unite the people of Middle-earth. It is not this powerful wizard duel. The rumor then also states it's unsure yet if Dime Store Wizard here is one of the Astari or just another magical character. Look, okay. These fans of the Rings of Power, they can equivocate all they want about who's who and actually pretend there's anything good to like about this show. But these writers, they want this guy to be Gandalf, 100%, no doubt. Watching their show and listening, it's like, it's like a 5-year-old telling you about the story they made up for themselves at nap time. And and they're trying so hard to be clever with their story that it's just becoming more of a narrative disaster. So this move of hobo-wizard to go off into the east to learn to be powerful, it's a narrative disaster waiting to happen. I mean, look, they had this laid out by Tolkien, right? The wizards made themselves known to the people of Middle-earth. And it was Cirdan, right? He could have gone there, and he could have gone to Cirdan. Cirdan, the most ancient elf, who's thousands of years old. He was there before the elves actually went over the seas to Valinor, to the Valar. He was there before the rising of the sun, way before the rising of the sun. So they could have gone to him. They could have had him slowly reveal himself as a messenger of Manwë, the highest, the greatest of these Valar, the angels of Middle Earth, so to speak. They could have done a slow reveal of him, right? And they didn't have to make him into this amnesic hobo guided by the dirty little sociopaths. Credit to Michael Grumbine on that on our podcast. Came up with that word for the Harfoots. But these dirty little sociopaths are here helping one of the most powerful beings in Middle-earth. And he's like an amnesic hobo-wizard who can't string two words together, but apparently can control fireflies. And without ever telling us directly, like that 5-year-old after nap time, or like trying to add flavor to a dish by just covering it with salt, right? It's like, this is what's going to make, just keep throwing this massive grains of salt onto this. This is going to be awesome. No, they do this huge, stupid wink at us with this phrase.
There's a sweet smell on the air this way. When in doubt, Eleanor Brandyfoot. Always follow your nose.
This is so close to what Gandalf says to Merry in the Fellowship of the Ring.
It's that way, but the air doesn't smell so foul down here. If in doubt, Eleanor, always follow your nose.
Of course, Tolkien didn't actually write that line, but that aside, it just proves that these writers, they are distant shadows of Tolkien. They are blurry silhouettes of the writers of Peter Jackson's films. It's their toddler attempt to create character, to drive a story, to reveal this guy in the most ham-fisted and the least impactful way. They could have had him with the most ancient elf of Middle-earth. No, they put him with the dirty little sociopaths, the Harfeet, the ones who leave their sick ones on the side of the road as they're marching to their next location. That was their decision. I mean, look, Cirdan said Gandalf was the wisest of the wizards. He knew him, he understood him, he got to know him, and he said he's the wisest. This shouldn't been Saruman. And there could have been some give and take in that. There could have been more gravity to his character. But we're left with a guy that if Cirdan saw this guy, he would have thrown him a couple of coins on the side of the road and said, here, take that and go on your way. But this is their Gandalf, the one that they're creating. Even the Coven of Witches, the Coven of Trans Witches, essentially says so.
He is not Sauron. He is the other. He is.
I'm good.
Fans that are desperately trying to like this show will say, well, you know, it's unsure yet whether he's a wizard or an Astari or just another magical character. Well, what other magical characters are there? There are none. They have to be these kinds of Maiar, right? They have to be wizards. They have to be Astari. So don't kid yourself. This guy is Gandalf. He's not the Gandalf we know, but he's the Gandalf they want. And that's what this show is. This is the show that they want. It's not the show that fans of Tolkien want, and it's certainly not the show that Tolkien wouldn't ever have written. He had a story laid out for them. They abandoned it. They decided they knew better. Well, thanks for watching. If you want deep dives into what Tolkien actually wrote and not the Rings of Power, check out our podcast, Exploring Tolkien, or just click subscribe down below. We post them here on YouTube every week. Catch you later.